What's good, you guys? Welcome back to La Vida Lopez YouTube channel. I'm Kelly if you have not visited our channel, and I want to get right into this video because Isla is on the way home and it's helter-skelter whenever she's here. So I basically wanted to talk about being pregnant during this pandemic, COVID-19, coronavirus, the Rona, whatever you call it, and Isla's 2-year-old update. I know she's like almost 2.5. I'm glad I kind of waited until she was a little bit older because her behavior changed since I've been pregnant. And I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant or she's just hit the terrible twos like right in the middle of being 2, but I definitely wanted to talk about that today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about me being pregnant. So right now, tomorrow actually, I'll be 18 weeks. I was going to say 18 months, like damn. I'm feeling little kicks. Feels like someone's flicking me from the inside out. And my lower, like really low, lower abdomen. My morning sickness has vanished, like, whew. It was brutal. I did not feel like this with Isla at all. Like, I was doing everything, and now that I'm finally in my 2nd trimester, I feel like that person again, where I'm pregnant, but I'm still able to do things without getting sick or grossed out. Although I do have some things that I'm kind of picky about right now, but it's not as bad as the beginning where it was just like, everything made me sick. Ugh. Speaking of the things that made me sick, onions, like, I was cooking and almost every recipe required onions, but luckily I had to cook them down so they kind of just like wither into nothingness. But onions, yellow onions, white onions, red onions are okay. They're not as bad. I don't know why. But white and yellow onions, ugh. And then tomato, like anything with tomato sauce, not ketchup, but like the pasty, like pasta sauce, things like that are disgusting. And I made this pasta and it was like tomato based, kind of like it was made from scratch, so it had a lot of tomato paste in it. And I opened up the lid once it was done cooking and I was like, this is gross, like it smells disgusting. So I made my mom take the rest and she ate on that. I saved some for Hector, but I was like, or I don't even know if Hector did, but anyway, I made her take it home in the dish and I was like, wash it at home, don't bring it back dirty. I can't handle that, that's disgusting. Those are the only 2 real, what do they call it, food aversions or whatever. Those are the only 2 things that gross me out really bad. Let's talk about the pandemic part because a lot of people in this little app that I have, it's called the Glow app, and I'm not like, you know, I just have the app. I'm not getting paid to talk about it. You can talk about different topics, and a lot of them right now are like, have you done this during the pandemic? How do you feel this during the pandemic? Like, there's different things, but they're all regarding the virus right now. And I've seen a lot of women who, you know, at first my doctor's office, they allowed anyone to come in with you in the beginning, but then there's people like, I guess it was more, they had more cases. They weren't allowing people, their family members, to come with them to their doctor's visits and like their prenatal appointments. And I was like, oh wow, like that's gonna be weird. And the next, I think it was like a few days later, or maybe a week later, after reading that on the app, like what people were going through, they actually, my doctor, their office actually called me and said, can you please not bring anyone with you, such as children, spouse, you know, your partner. Don't bring anyone with you, basically. If they're not old enough to sit in the car by themselves, basically an adult, don't bring them. So, you know, that was no problem. I mean, this is our 2nd child, so of course it'd be nice for Hector to go, but at the same time, like, we've been through this. This isn't our first rodeo, so we feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. It would be weird if it was our first child. So my heart goes out to the people the couples who are having their first child in this pandemic, because it is going to be a little weird, but just, you know, you gotta just tough it out. I mean, this isn't the worst. I'm pretty sure people before us have had it way worse. I'm pretty sure that Hector can be in the room whenever I deliver the baby, or give birth, whatever. But I just, you know, my first pregnancy, whenever we went to the hospital for Isla, as you guys saw in the video, click the link above, my natural labor and delivery story. I had my mom, my aunt, and Hector's mom. And a lot of people were like getting on me about that. Like, I would never have that many people in my room. Well, don't. Don't. That's so stupid. Just, you know, I'm like, I don't know. It's my family. I don't care. You can be there. I just didn't want my dad or Hector's dad or, you know, any other men in there besides staff. But if anyone was in my room, it's because I allowed them to be there. So, I'm sorry if I'm a little blurry. I keep going in and out, but this time I think it's just gonna be a real bonding moment for Hector and I. Everything's okay. Like, I don't know. I have to stay home, but I'm like home anyway because there's really nothing to do because everything's closed. I'm the type where I can adapt to any situation pretty easily, and I'm not the type to worry about the virus and getting sick, and you know, I've always been the type of person to have hand sanitizer, to wipe stuff down, to have Lysol spray, gloves. Like, that's just who I am. So whenever all that stuff was gone off the shelves, like, I had all that. And my mom was like, where'd you get all this stuff? I'm like, I've been had that. I'm not freaking out. We're just not freaking out about it. And I don't think you should either. But definitely be cautious, and you know, but you can be cautious and aware and things like that and be in the know, but to make it a huge deal and go crazy about it is ridiculous. I take my mask into the stores. At first I wasn't, and it just felt really odd, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt odd doing it. Even though everyone else was doing it, I just felt weird. Like, I felt like I was just confirming that everything's contaminated. I don't know. I'm sure you understand if you felt weird about wearing a mask, but a lot of stores and places you go into now, you can't go in there without a mask. So always keep one, and I just keep sanitizer with me in my pocket. Just, I don't know, like I said, don't go crazy with it, but and Isla has a mask too. She has a doctor's appointment today for her foot. Her left foot has eczema. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and I have to take her today. That's why she's on her way back to get taken to the doctor. But she has a mask, and she knows to sanitize her hands, and she's always asking when people use the restroom, she's like, you wash your hands? So, I mean, it's all good, but as far as Isla's behavior, I don't know if it has to do with me being pregnant. A lot of people say kids can pick up on that, but it's like, it's very difficult to deal with because she's almost 2.5 years old, and at first I was like, okay, is this a terrible tooth? Is this a terrible tooth? But now I know it is, and this is like a real a real video. This part is gonna be like real and raw because I feel like a lot of us women who are taking care of the kids while husband is working, or you know, your partner, whoever, the person who stays at home with the kids, or is the primary provider for them, caretaker, it can get rough. I mean, I don't know what other people, I don't know. I see other people and their kids, you know, sometimes they act up or whatever, but I never really know exactly how they feel inside. And now I do. I never knew before, but it's really, really exhausting, and it's very, it's tiring, and sometimes I feel defeated. I literally cried because she's getting into this thing where she's hitting and talking back, And you know, if I say, no, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, like just very argumentative, and it's kind of hard to talk about because, you know, I don't want anyone coming from my neck, but seriously, it doesn't, the timeouts or even, you know, giving kids a spanking, sometimes that don't work. Like, you literally have to find something else, because sometimes you have like a very, very strong-willed child. She's not afraid of anything. Like, she just be, you know, doing her thing, and the main thing that bothers her is getting her snacks taken away, or toys, butt whoopings, and, you know, getting yelled at and all that. That don't work. And maybe some people, it works for them, but it don't work for us with Isla. I mean, I don't even want to be spanking my kids. I want them to, obviously I just want them to listen, but you know, I think there's a better way to handle it. And I spoke about this with my sister and my best friend recently, and she agrees, like they both agree. Sometimes all you need is love. So whenever she starts to act up, you know, I just give her a hug and ask, what's wrong? You know, why are you upset? But truthfully, I know why she's upset. She's a 2-year-old, and she's going through like a developmental stage where they have like a lot of anger and stuff like that. So this is something that a child should not be punished for. Like, just like a teenager, they have that stage where they're just defiant and all that, especially girls, the attitude. But you don't really want to punish anybody for that, because they're not aware that they're acting like that. I mean, they are, but if for the most part, you know, you take care of your kids, and you know, you go places with them, you're a happy person yourself, you know, you don't have your kid in a bad environment. So you can kind of weigh out all those things and say, okay, I know that we're doing the best we can, and we're, for the most part, happy and normal. So it must be something that she's just like going through as a toddler, as a child, not like she needs therapy. And, you know, nothing's wrong with therapy, shoot, go. But, you know, I see some kids out there, they've gone through stuff and they have a reasonable explanation to act the way they do, you know. So it's just something that I have to get through, and I'm not sure if you're catching on or if I'm making any sense, but I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that that's what is going on right now. I'm pregnant during the pandemic, and I feel like there's plenty of other women out there who can relate, especially if you have other kids too and you're pregnant. Like, you can't go nowhere. I mean, Isla be crying whenever we drive by the park and there's yellow tape around it like a crime scene. And I'm like, so the other day, I was like, we were like walking to my truck, and there's a park like literally right there. And she goes, I want to go to the park. And I said, Isla, you can't. And I said, it's closed. She goes, no, it's open. I see it, it's open. I'm like, so that's hard because she loves the park. You know, what kid doesn't? So telling them they can't do any of that it's really hard. It's gonna be weird. You know, I really hope that things get back to normal, as we all do. Things get back to normal really soon, because I feel bad for the kids. Like, adults understand, but the kids, well, some don't, but the kids, they really don't understand. Like, why can't I go to the park? You can't say, because there's a pandemic and germs and this and that. Although I do explain to her, a 2-year-old, I mean, come on. They'll listen for that first 5 seconds and say, but I want to go to the park, like right after you explain. So that's pretty difficult. Staying at home, it drives me insane. I don't want to have to do that anymore, but I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. It is what it is. So if you have any more questions about this little topic. I know it was kind of quick, but I wanted to throw this out there just so you guys know I'm still making videos. We're in the process of purchasing a new home and selling our home, so we've got a lot going on. My plate is really full, so YouTube, like I said, has kind of taken a back seat a little bit, but I still want to put videos out there. And once we move into our house, I'll be, we'll hit you with the empty house tour and the furnished house tour and buying furniture, things like that, and get back to our normal groove. But that is pretty much what is going on right now. But at the end of the day, it's all good. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. This is just a little random video I'm throwing out there. So like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next vlog. Peace.